Good evening and welcome to Kini News. Azhar Azizan Harun and Azalina Othman will remain as Dewan Rakyat Speaker and Deputy Speaker respectively after the High Court ruled today that their appointments were valid.
The Kuala Lumpur High Court struck out a suit by former Prime Minister Dr Mahathir Mohamad and 4 others to challenge the appointment of Azhar Azizan Harun as the Dewan Rakyat Speaker and Azalina Othman Said as the Deputy Speaker. The suit was struck out after the court allowed an application by Azhar and Azalina. Besides the two, the other defendants seeking to strike out the bids are Deputy Speaker Muhammad Rashid Hasnan and Dewan Rakyat Secretary Nizam Maidin. Justice Ahmad Kamal Md Shahid said that he found the appointments of the two were valid and cannot be questioned by the court. In his judgment, Ahmad Kamal said that in his view, the evidence showed that former Dewan Rakyat Speaker Muhammad Arif Mat Yusof was removed from his office by way of a resolution and motion carried out by the Dewan Rakyat, and that Azhar and Azalina were elected to the office of Speaker and the Deputy Speaker by way of a motion that was brought and passed by the Dewan Rakyat. The judge ruled, among others, that only Parliament has the sole power and jurisdiction to decide on the issue of the appointment. The 5 plaintiffs, Langkawi MP Mahathir Mohamad, Jerlun MP Mulkris Mahathir, Simpang Rengam MP Mazli Malik, Kubang Pasu MP Amiruddin Hamzah, and Sri Gading MP Shahruddin Mat Saleh filed the originating summons on July 23rd. The plaintiffs were seeking a court declaration that the appointments of Azhar and Azalina are invalid and contravene the federal constitution and Dewan Rakyat standing orders. They also sought a declaration that following the vacating of the Speaker's post previously held by Muhammad Arif, all MPs must be given an opportunity to find a candidate for the position. Apart from that, the plaintiffs also wanted a declaration that the post of the Dewan Rakyat Speaker and Deputy Speaker have remained vacant since July 13th.
During an interview with Malaysia Kini, UMNO stalwart Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah said that he had no plans to quit the party. He said that his heart is with UMNO and that he will continue to serve his party.
Mengapa saya nak keluar daripada UMNO? Saya memang sebati dengan UMNO. Itu sebab saya berada dalam UMNO sepanjang masa. Itu sebab orang tuduh saya, kata saya keluar daripada UMNO bila saya tubuh semangat 46. Saya tubuh semangat 46 kerana Tengku Abdul Rahman almarhum ni suruh saya menubuh parti yang dinamakan semangat 46 apabila kita tak boleh menggunakan nama UMNO sesudah UMNO diisytihar haram. Jadi saya tubuh itu kerana kita semua tak dibenar masuk UMNO baru yang ditubuh oleh Dr Mahathir. Jadi kita ahli parlimen, bagaimana kita nak berurusan dengan rakyat dan nak bertindak untuk membantu rakyat sekiranya kita tidak ada backing ataupun parti seperti mana UMNO sebelum diharamkan. Jadi oleh kerana tidak ada parti, maka Tengku Abdul Rahman lah yang cadang supaya tubuhlah parti. Kalau tak boleh guna nama UMNO, gunanya semangat tahun 1946 yang UMNO dibentuk dulu. Jadi itulah sebab saya tubuh semangat 46. Tetapi apabila Dr Mahathir ajak saya berunding dan pelawar kita semua masuk balik ke dalam UMNO yang ditubuh olehnya, maka kita rela bubarkan semangat 46 kerana kita tak ada niat nak berasingan daripada kelompok yang sama.
Now it's time to take a look at the country's latest COVID-19 figures.
Malaysia recorded 1,870 new cases of COVID-19 today. 2 of the cases were imported. This brings the total confirmed cases in Malaysia to 110,485. From the local cases, Johor recorded the highest amount with 607 new cases. This was followed by Selangor with 472 cases, Sabah with 280, and Kuala Lumpur with 219 new cases. There were 131 patients in the intensive care unit, with 62 requiring ventilator support. 6 new deaths were also reported today, taking the death toll in the country from COVID-19 to 463. 4 of the deaths were recorded in Sabah, 1 in Selangor, and another in Johor.
An abrupt end to a Seremban UMNO meeting led to a commotion among its members.
A Seremban UMNO Division Committee meeting held on Monday night ended in chaos as grassroots leaders traded barbs after its chief, Mustafa Salim, adjourned the meeting abruptly. Seremban UMNO Youth Chief Zul Amali Hussein was quoted by Sinar Harian as saying that the situation became tense when a group of individuals who were not part of the committee members and attendees of the meeting showed up at the venue. He said the meeting was adjourned just 5 minutes in, and when he tried to get an explanation, he was stopped by the individuals. He said they had attempted to provoke him, and the quarrel started from there. Zul added that the meeting was held at night, and no one else was allowed into the building after office hours. As such, he said he had lodged a police report at the Seremban District Police Headquarters. According to Zul, the meeting was called to determine if the UMNO Divisional Delegate meeting, slated for this weekend, is to be held virtually or face-to-face. A video of the incident has since gone viral on social media. It shows some individuals quarreling, and some were also seen pushing each other.
Our neighbors Singapore have started their COVID-19 inoculation program on Wednesday.
Singapore began vaccinating healthcare workers with the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday, kicking off one of Asia's first inoculation programs against a pandemic that has killed more than 1.7 million people globally. Sarah Lim, a 46-year-old nurse, and 43-year-old Dr Kalisva Marimutu were among the more than 30 staff at the National Centre for Infectious Diseases who were vaccinated on Wednesday, said the Health Ministry. They will return for the second dose of the vaccine on January 20th. Singapore is the first country in Asia to approve the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. It has also signed advance purchase agreements and made early down payments on several other vaccine candidates, including those being developed by Moderna and Sinovac. The country expects to have enough vaccine doses for all 5.7 million of their citizens by the third quarter of 2021. Singapore acted swiftly after the first cases of the virus were reported, and although it was blindsided by tens of thousands of infections in migrant workers' dormitories, it has reported just a handful of new local cases in recent months. The country has one of the world's lowest COVID-19 fatality rates. Only 29 people have died of the virus. In a Facebook post on Wednesday, Singapore's Prime Minister said that the vaccinations mark a new chapter in our fight against the pandemic. The vaccine will be free and voluntary, but the government is encouraging all medically eligible residents to take them.
Still to come, Bangladesh moved a second group of Rohingya refugees to an island off the Bay of Bengal in an effort to ease overcrowding in camps near the Myanmar border. All that and more after the break. Welcome back. Bangladesh started moving a second group of Rohingya Muslim refugees to an island in the Bay of Bengal on Tuesday, despite opposition from rights groups.
Carrying their belongings in their hands, around 1,800 Rohingya refugees arrived at a low-lying island in the Bay of Bengal on Tuesday. Some clutching ducks, pigeons, and chickens in bamboo baskets. Others wearing orange life vests and masks against the coronavirus. "Welcome to Basanchar," read a banner as the refugees walked off the jetty on the island. They were the second group of Rohingya refugees that Bangladesh had moved to the island. They were taken on 5 boats from a refugee camp on the border to the island, which has only emerged from the sea 20 years ago and is prone to flooding. Bangladesh says it has spent more than $350 million of its own money to ready housing and other infrastructure to voluntarily move some 100,000 Rohingya refugees to the island in an effort to ease overcrowding in camps near the Myanmar border. The measure has sparked criticism from rights groups, which allege that people are being moved against their will. However, Bangladesh's Foreign Minister Abdul Momen has dismissed concerns about the island's safety and accused groups of spreading negative propaganda about people being forced. The government had also built a 7.5-mile-long embankment to protect the island from regular storms.
United States President Joe Biden on Tuesday promised a swift coronavirus vaccine rollout after saying that it has fallen behind expectations.
The first known U.S. case of a highly infectious coronavirus variant was detected in Colorado on Tuesday. as US President-elect Joe Biden warned it could take years for most Americans to be vaccinated for the virus at current distribution rates. Biden took aim at President Donald Trump's administration for moving too slowly in the vaccine rollout, saying it's fallen far behind its intended targets.
A few weeks ago, the Trump administration suggested that 20 million Americans could be vaccinated by the end of December. With only a few days left in December, we've only vaccinated a few million so far. And the pace of the vaccination program is moving now, if it continues to move as it is now, it's going to take years, not months, to vaccinate the American people.
He warned the situation in the US will get worse before it gets better, but vowed to spearhead a robust vaccination campaign once sworn into office on January 20th.
The Biden-Harris administration will spare no effort to make sure people get vaccinated. I've laid out 3 challenges in our first 100 days. One of them is ensuring that 100 million shots have been administered by the end of the first 100 days. If Congress provides the funding, we'd be able to meet this incredible goal. It would take ramping up 5 to 6 times the current pace to 1 million shots a day.
Biden's warning appeared aimed at lowering public expectations that the pandemic will be over soon, while also sending a message to Congress that his administration will want to significantly increase spending to expedite vaccine distribution, expand testing, and provide funding to states to help reopen schools. The Biden team has put particular emphasis on the importance of encouraging inoculation in non-white groups, especially hard hit by the coronavirus. US Vice President-elect Kamala Harris received the COVID-19 vaccination in front of cameras on Tuesday, as Biden's administration seeks to boost confidence in the inoculations.
That was easy. Thank you. There's no cheating. I barely felt it.
An earthquake of magnitude 6.4 struck a town in central Croatia on Tuesday. If this sounds familiar, it's because this was a day after a 5.2 magnitude earthquake hit the same place.
An earthquake of magnitude 6.4 struck central Croatia on Tuesday, killing 7 people, injuring more than 20, and rattling several neighboring countries, officials said. The epicenter was in the town of Petrinja, roughly 30 miles south of the capital Zagreb. It came just 1 day after a 5.2 magnitude earthquake hit the same area. Croatia's state news agency, HINA, said the quake was felt in a total of 12 countries. It was felt in neighboring Bosnia and Serbia, and even rattled the Slovenian parliament during a session. Slovenia shut its only nuclear plant as a precaution. Back in Croatia, army troops were sent into the area to help as rescuers tried to pull people from the rubble and collapsed buildings. In Zagreb, people rushed onto streets strewn with broken roof tiles and debris. Patients and medical staff were evacuated from a nearby hospital. Croatia's Interior Minister, Davor Bosnovic, said the country was expecting help from the European Union as it had activated the bloc's emergency situation mechanism.
That's all the time we have this evening. For more stories, please go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget that we also post the latest headlines to Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, so follow us there to get the latest news updates. Remember that if you're going out, please wear your mask and also observe that social distancing. We're almost there, but we're not there yet. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.